Here's my question, and this is to you, Congressman, is in terms of where you think, if you have to pick a horse here, do you suggest that we, the United States, use all our influence and whatever force we're willing to use to deal with and promote and support the Democratic League of Kosovo or the Kosovo Liberation Army? Because right now, they ain't in tandem.
Why don't we make the question a lot more simple? Why don't we look at international law, look at a population of 2 million people that is being brutalized every day?
Because it's useful to look at reality.
Well, but reality is also, Senator, that you raised the issue of, well, who is this George Washington that we want to find in Belgrade so we can solve the problem? We may have to wait a long time. But in the meantime,
I agree.
We cannot let these people be brutalized and killed every day. I think there are things we have to do right now.
And
we have to face Slobodan Milosevic in the eye, as we did in Bosnia, and say, get every one of those VJ troops out of Kosovo. And if you don't do it, we're going to take some action. Now,
what action? We're going to bomb, right?
What are we doing?
Physical force.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
I'm not suggesting we shouldn't. I want to know what
you
action
just said before, the arguments you made before, the same arguments that I heard I was on a panel with Bob Torricelli and Senator McCain back in 1992 or 3 or 4 in the McLaughlin show, and they were saying the same thing. But we did something, didn't we? We waited 3 years. Sooner or later, we got the resolve, motif, and we said something has to be done.
No.
Why is this any different?
Well, no, it is different because, no, it's not different. I just want to know what you suggest, because back then, when I was in your position, I was suggesting we bomb Belgrade. I was suggesting that we send American pilots in and blow up all the bridges on the Drina. I was suggesting we take out his oil supplies. I was suggesting very specific action.
And isn't it interesting that we didn't have to go that far to begin the solution in Bosnia?
Isn't it interesting that about 200,000 people were killed in the meantime by the time they did it?
Yes. And that's going to happen in Kosovo.
That's why I want to know what you're suggesting now.
What we have to do right now is to enforce international law. We have war criminals in Belgrade. We're dealing with one right now. I said that article before. I have a copy of it right here. Here it is. It was in the Gannett papers on Sunday. There's Slobodan Milosevic, side by side Mr. Karadzic, who's now got a book coming out pointing the finger at him for all these atrocities in Bosnia. Why aren't we picking him up?
Because the French, he's in the French quarter, and the French let him walk around. That's why.
It seems to me that we've got a double standard here. If we're going to be the great United States of America, standing up for oppressed people, and I believe we can do that without sending military all over the world. Let's pick up the war criminals in Belgrade. We know who they are. We know where they are. And number two, let's tell Mr. Milosevic, get every troop out of there. You know why? It's not because we want him to, because we like it. He is now on the brink of creating a Balkan war. You know the problems we have between Greece and Turkey. You know how fragile Macedonia is. You know that we right now have 600 troops on the border in Macedonia. What are we waiting for? If he keeps doing this, all he's doing is raising the temperature, and as the Greek foreign minister said, the hand grenade will explode and the Balkans will explode. Well, we have no choice. Let's do something now than have to do 20 times more later on.